Welcome everyone then to game number 1. Second series of the day. Liereyy versus BacT, playing with Italians and Huns. Liereyy on the left-hand side, BacT on the right-hand side. We're gonna see for the blue player with the Han civilization. First off, 10 and 20% cheaper cavalry archer units in the castle and Imperial Ages. Besides that, we have for Huns also 50% accuracy on trebuchets. In addition to 200 population support from the get-go at the expense of 100 wood at the beginning of the game, and then for the team bonus, the Huns will have 20% faster working stables. Liereyy, playing with Italians instead, will have a 15% discount on fishing ships, as well as a 15% discount to go up to the next stage. We also see for the Italians 20% cheaper gunpowder units. He gets a 33% discount on dock and university upgrades. In addition to, for the team bonus, they're going to get access to condottieri from the barracks in the Imperial Age. That's going to be about it. Both these players are spawning very, very close to the corners of the map. So if you take a look at BacT's map generation first, we'll see that the blue player, it's got the main goal on the back, it's got a secondary goal on the right hand side, and then the other secondary goal is going to be very much forward, so this one is not particularly accessible. We can see also the walls coming out from wood to wood line over here as well, potentially even just from the wood line to the edge of the map as well. And then a few walls from here towards the DC, here towards the DC, and from wood to wood will allow him to not only secure both these goals on the back, which are beautiful, but also secure 2 wood lines in the entire pond. Berries will be kind of exposed though, mind you. And then taking a look at the left-hand side, we're gonna find the Mr. Liereyy instead. He gets the main goal forward, so it's not going to be quite as accessible, but he does have a secondary goal kind of side-ish over here, which he should be able to secure by going for the walls like this. He's got a neutral goal actually kind of secured over there if he doesn't end up going for these walls and collecting gold from here. It should be pretty easy for him to defend these walls. And then something like from here to here, and then from here to here and here to here would allow him to secure this stone. But yeah, the goals are going to be a little bit too far away, right? Berries would be safe though for Liereyy, so that's good, and he would be able to secure also a wood line in addition to the lake. He was playing in the green color, blue and green. We are definitely not going to have together. Oh, Lierey's still in one of the geese. Still on the goose over there. And BacT's getting the dog already up on the back, while Liereyy already has a dog. Not only already has a dog, he's going for the first fishing ship so much earlier. Yeah, the second fishing ship is actually on the way for Liereyy at about the same time the first fishing ship is coming out for BacT. Here we go. PLH should be on the way very soon, and Liereyy is already gearing up. Meanwhile, BacT, not so much. Not so much. It's gonna take a little bit longer. He's collecting from the board right now, so of course that's going to skyrocket once he actually deposits the food. Yeah, there we go. He's getting close himself as well, but Liereyy does have a little bit of a head start with Italians, no less. Fantastic, the walls are coming out for Liereyy already towards the south. He's not connecting the north wood lines yet. And BacT is not really going for the walls yet himself either. Yeah, by the looks of it. but they could easily wall his pawn. Yeah, BacT and Liereyy both could very well protect their full pawn. As noted when analyzing the map generation for both these players, the walls shouldn't be too expensive, right? And too time consuming. So BacT is going for the walls we were expecting to see over here. Indeed, connecting the wool lines to the wool lines. On the left hand side, Liereyy just needs to connect both these wool lines. And then he should be good as well, completely protected. I was kind of expecting he was going to collect the gold from the one up in the north so that he would have villagers at hand to repair this, but yeah, he's not gone for the walls. He's sending the villager right now, but it's too late as BacT already has a sneaky villager coming in. Yeah. Lierey's taking a little bit too long over there. And up in the north. Oh, we see a villager go down actually from BacT to Lierey's scout. Check this out. Yeah, the wolves were coming up over here. But the scout, oh, targeted the villager through the walls. Yes, we see that happen from time to time. That's unlucky. It is. The BacT will end up getting the walls up. And he's gonna be just fine. Meanwhile, on the left hand side, he did manage to get the sneaky duck already up. However, Liereyy is already aware of it, so he's got his own fire galley on the way. Mind you, BacT started to go in for the fire galley earlier. Where's the villager though? Oh, he's gonna go for a tower as well. This is so good. Well, we know that Liereyy already has one wood lane completely secure on the back of his DC. But BacT bails actually. He's not going to go for the tower. He's not going to go for anything. Archer range is on the way now. For the bull player. And BacT is going to start putting some land pressure, while Liereyy, on the other hand, he has been going for land units for a little while longer, actually. And is, for the time being, holding on against BacT, although the bull player does end up getting one fishing ship over there. And oh, BacT was going for his own fishing ships over there. That's ambitious. Right hand side, BacT's coming in. Four scouts should be enough for him to get the villagers, especially when there are so many weak villagers over here. We're gonna see one going down for sure from Liereyy. Yes, sir. We're gonna see another one going down. Not quite. BacT's not targeting the correct ones. Oh, he did. He got it. He got another villager over here. Fantastic. So that's going to be 2 villagers going down plus the fishing ship. Liereyy has lost 3 workers up until this point. BacT has lost the 1 villager on the wall. Convenient control for the bull player as well. So overall is very interesting. Very, very hectic already. We had a little engagement take place close to the center of the map. Another engagement take place a little bit further south. Another engagement take place inside the walls from Liereyy, while the players were still trying to key up the navy units, and they were still trying to fight over water control on the left hand side. Now Liereyy does have a 3rd fire galley on the way over here. Meanwhile, BacT does have a 3rd fire galley on the way himself, and because BacT's units will be completely full HP compared to Lierey's army, which is not full HP because this one taking a little bit of damage, BacT should be in a better position so long as he plays his cards right. And Liereyy does have the fire galley on the way, but you gotta wonder, is BacT going to give Liereyy enough time to actually get the third fire galley in position? It seems like he will. Yeah. Well, wait, will he? Yes, he will. Right? Not really. That is not the best position for Liereyy. I bet he's probably expecting BacT to be going for a demolition raft. Galley on the and BacT on the other hand is going for another fire galley. Up in the north, as BacT realizes about the dock over here, he's going to have a villager already halfway through to get a sneaky dock up, and he will realize about a fire galley right now as well. So he's gotta be careful. Demolition raft for Liereyy, not so much for galley, for BacT, sorry. But this goes in favor of the blue player. Lierey's not paying attention over here. Too many things happening at once. And now, the red player is getting completely wiped out by the time Liereyy realizes about... Ah, that was a waste of demo shot. That was such a waste of demo shot when Liereyy had the possibility of getting a beautiful shot against all 4 fire galleys from BacT. Instead, he was busy trying to scrap together the resources to go up to the castle edge, and he will be the first one to click up, but not by a very long margin, as BacT is making use of the market himself to get the resources he needs to go up to the castle edge as well, so not the best position. For Liereyy, that is. Despite going up a little bit earlier. Beautiful. Yeah, so they just here now for Liereyy. All right. Yeah, so they just here now for BacT. Mr. Liereyy is coming in with a bunch of crossbows. Been prioritizing land for a little bit. And BacT, on the other hand, he is going for the elite skirmisher upgrade himself as well. Bulky arrow on the way. No second TC on the way yet. BacT does have a defensive siege workshop coming up instead, and Liereyy is going for the second TC, so that's certainly going to allow Liereyy to start pulling ahead in worker count. Even though he ended up losing the dock on the left-hand side, he did manage to get away with the dock up in the north. He was able to clean up BacT's dock down the south as well. He was able to hold on to this one as well, so it's going to be 2 hunts for 2. Well, 2 for 3, I guess he ended up getting pushed away from one of them, right? But yeah, BacT is just gonna be sticking to 1 TC. His economy is a disaster, man! What is this? Liereyy is coming in with mangonels right now. In BacT, he's got 6 farms, 2 of which are being utilized, 1 of which is being utilized right now. And, well, Liereyy is going to be putting pressure against the TC, so BacT is only relying on the fishing ships. Fortunately for him, that's going to be enough to keep the villager production going, but not so much for military production, right? He's got 2 stables over here he won't be able to queue up for very long, so long as he's unable to take advantage of the farms once again, and BacT's forced into the defensive siege workshop in a different place after he had to cancel the foundation next to the lumberjack, the lumber camp, sorry. Here we go. Nice mango shot from BacT. But Lierey's still definitely the one with the upper hand over here. 3 mana still have very good unit control for Liereyy. Very good reaction times over there. And on the back, Liereyy is getting rid right now by a few knights from BacT. But notice he actually tried to get the quick walls up over here. It's incredible to see how the red player is able to control the mana, to control the crosses forward. And I mean, check out, look at that unit control. He takes the mana down from BacT. He was able to at the very least try to get a quick wall over here next to the gold, and it's just unbelievable. There's so much taking place right now, and yet Liereyy has been able to keep track of most everything. Maybe not right now, maybe not this. Yeah, that is not great. For sure. Yeah, and over here, Liereyy seems to be kind of losing the grip of the game. That's going to be in the end. And even Mangonel trade, but you know what? BacT, he gets to keep the TC up. Definitely has still fallen behind though compared to Liereyy, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the knight. Getting some damage done over there. Can afford it, still Moriko, even if he loses another 5 villagers. Yeah, well, ideally he doesn't actually want to use to lose the villagers. He does end up taking a bunch of losses over there, but anyway. There we go. Liereyy is getting cleaned up and BacT is catching up a little bit. 2 TCs for the bull player. No third TC in sight. Liereyy, 3 TCs, but has taken the most villager losses so far. You could say that Liereyy has spent the most resources so far into units that maybe have not paid off. Maybe he's not been able to take advantage of quite as much. Oh, that was terrible for BacT though. Here comes Liereyy once again though. Triple Magna push. It's remarkable that he's been able to not only keep up with everything that's been taking place, but also while going for extra economy, he's gonna be the player putting the most pressure. Good unit control for Liereyy once again. This time around, there's only one place for Liereyy to pay attention to, and we can see it over here with the knights coming over, the man over there. get completely destroyed from Liereyy. And he will end up losing the majority of the crosses over here once again. And it might have been a little bit too ambitious. Going for both military and economy over here has proven too expensive for Liereyy to keep up with. And now BacT manages to clean out the military units. He manages to get some momentum and he's going to start putting pressure forward. Every time that the bull player has tried to get damage done around Lierey's base, he's actually gotten away with this. Actually been able to get a lot of damage done. This time around, it seems like it's going to be a little bit harder as Liereyy is not paying attention elsewhere anymore. He ended up losing all the military units he had forward. So now he's going to focus on full defense. And BacT, well, BacT does have some momentum though. He's got the 30C coming up, yes. He still has a significant amount of knights and the Manuals are coming forward as well. Check this out! Check this out, Liereyy is getting raided to death over here underneath the TC, and even though he does garrison it, BacT already has chain barred and armor on the knights over here and has so far been able to get, let's see, yeah, 5 villager kills with those 4 knights. There were some knights earlier that he ended up losing, but might have been able to get a few extra villagers with. Regardless though, the Manuals from Liereyy do end up getting destroyed by his own knights. The Manuals from BacT, sorry, end up getting destroyed by Lierey's knights. Lierey's getting some momentum once again as BacT's raid was not strong enough. I think the 30C over here was a mistake for BacT. Well, he did manage to get a lot of damage done around Lierey's economy earlier, and might have prompted him into trying to play for economy since he was able to get some eco damage done around Lierey's base. He did have, regardless up until that point, yet a smaller economy. That going for a 30C and trying to sustain production, the 30C was going to be too difficult for him to do. Really just on the way for Liereyy as well. BacT, not particularly close. He's gonna try and get the raid going once again. He's bringing in one Manual. This is like the opposite version of a tower defense game where Liereyy is actually going to face a weaker version of the push this time around from BacT compared to the previous one. And you know, what are the chances for the bull player? Liereyy was able to fend off BacT's push when he was so much stronger last time around. What are these units really going to do for BacT, right? Like, Lierey's not going to struggle against this at all. And it's probably worth noting though that Lierey's base right now is pretty convoluted. It's got a bunch of buildings everywhere, so yeah, there we go. He kind of needed to open up some space over here, otherwise it's really hard for him to actually maneuver his units around. Bring them out into the open is going to allow him to get some better engagements. So let's take a look. There we are. Yeah, and BacT, he recognizes he cannot get any damage done over here with the push anymore and goes on to call the GG. If this was not GG here, it was going to be GG the moment Liereyy got to the Imperial Age, because realistically, BacT was really going to be unable to get any damage done from this point onwards. Better KD for BacT in the end, surpassing 4-3. Meanwhile, for economy, we're going to see a stronger economy for Liereyy, actually, collecting about 9,000 extra resources. You also have a much higher villager count for Liereyy, not only at the end of the game, but also in total amount of villagers produced, right? He also ended up taking the most villager losses, but as you correctly stated before, it did not really make much of a difference because, in the end, Liereyy, well, he had so many extra villagers to work with that even losing a few was just a dent on his economy. And here we go, guys. Welcome everyone then once again. BacT versus Liereyy. But the Spanish and the Malians for game number 2 will be facing off on Nomad. Lierey's got the TC already on the way on the left-hand side. BacT, he's got the TC on the way on the right-hand side. He's got the Spanish, so he's actually able to keep up over here really well despite having only one villager, right? And with the second villager, that's going to allow him to get the TC up earlier, so long as Liereyy doesn't get the third TC up over here. So what is so good about BacT civilization? Why would he go for Spanish? First off, the blue player civilization is going to get 33% faster working builders. That means that we're going to get for BacT, the TC go up significantly faster compared to Liereyy on the same amount of builders. Enough so that he'll be able to get one extra villager out early on. You can see that Lierey's taking longer, right, to get the TC up, as BacT's getting the TC over here. He queues the first villager, and Liereyy, on the other hand, well, is going to take a little bit longer to get the TC up over there. Let's see if we can take a look at both these buildings at the same time. Yes. We'll see the villager coming out over there about the same time as the town center from, yeah, Liereyy comes up, right? So anyway, besides that, the Spanish also get no gold cost on blacksmith upgrade, so it's going to be cheaper. In addition to that, the Spanish will also get 18% faster attacking gunpowder units, as well as cannon galleon with projectiles that travel much faster and behave as if they had ballistics. For the team bonus, finally, Spanish will also have a bonus that is actually only relevant for team games, not so much for 1v1. So let's move over to Liereyy civilization. What do we get for the red player? Well, with the Malians, he's going to get 30% longer lasting golds in addition to 1 extra pierce armor on barracks units per age for free, starting on the fuel age and up to +3 in the imperial age, without taking into account blacksmith upgrades, of course. That's going to be separate. In addition to all of that, the Malians also have a 15% wood discount on buildings, which makes this a very strong civilization for water or hybrid maps. Hybrid maps for the most part, right, where they'll be able to go for the fishing ships, the extra docks, using the resources they save by just going for extra buildings and having them cheaper compared to other civilizations. Team bonus for the Malians gives them 80% faster working universities, which can be quite good, especially for those long research and upgrades, such as chemistry. But it's not something that is going to be the reason for choosing Malians, right? It's all going to be about their versatility on hybrid maps over here because of the wood discount. Tactics base is clearly favored by the gods, as evidenced by the holy relic next to the TC. Right, let's take a look at the TC location for both these players. And let's start with the blue player indeed. BacT's got 1 gold on the back, 1 gold forward, 1 stone up in the north, and berries down the south. Now the berries are going to be super safe. Let's actually take a look first at the point of view over here, BacT, to see exactly what he knows about. His scouting information has been really good, actually. He already knows about this, he already knows about this, he already knows about this, and he knows about the hunting, he knows about the hunting. For moments in time, he knows about the boar over here, but this is going to be kind of inconsistent, right? Like sometimes it's going to come into vision, sometimes it's not, but he has sent the villager up in the north and he is going to collect another one. So overall, I would say BacT's map is actually not too bad. If he gets the walls up from here to here and then goes from here to here, something like this, he should be able to secure a bunch of those resources, right? Like the stone over there, the gold over here in the back, and that should be actually really good. Potentially, maybe not secure the wool line completely, but he's got a TC right there. While taking a look at the map generation for Liereyy, or not really the map generation, but the TC location for the red player, we'll see that Lierey's got one gold up in the north that he is already aware of. He's got no extra gold by the looks of it, and he's got one stone on the left-hand side, so this is already worse, right? Well, there is one stone on the right-hand side. He is aware of both these stones. But this is already a little bit worse. He's got only one gold to collect from, and even the berries are kind of far away towards the south. And he does have some berries on the left. These are going to be far away from the TC and kind of harder to protect. And the TC location itself is not in the best location for him to secure the wool line, right? So I am liking BacT's map generation for sure. Liereyy could potentially get cornered if he gets pushed over here, as he's got nowhere to run. And it's going to be much harder for him to get the walls up. Maybe going for something like this, and from here towards the TC and something like this could be good. But this way, he's not going to secure the goal. He's not going to secure much of anything, just a stone over here on the right-hand side. And it's, of course, not guaranteed that he's going to go for that even. Village is here for Liereyy already, and he's not gonna try to go for a fast castle or anything over here. He's going for fire galleys already, and BacT. He loves the board. The board's going back. Oh boy, he actually. Oh, BacT, come on. He brought the cow. Oh my lord, BacT's gonna be so tilted right now. The board's going back again, and he's going to run out of this one already. Yep, that's gotta be a tilter right there. Board went back for like 3 times in a row, and BacT, well, to be fair, his pathing is certainly not going to help. But yeah, now he's bringing the board back. Let's see. Ah, there we go. He's taking it. I got this coming out already from Liereyy. If we take a look at the scouting information, he knows about BacT's dock over here, and he doesn't know where the rest of the water presence from BacT is, and it's going to be on the right-hand side where he's collecting fish safely. Much range coming in for Liereyy as well. Beautiful, another board coming in. This time around, much smoother. Lure from BacT, who's going up to the castle edge already. Once BacT gets to the castle edge, of course, he'll have the possibility of contesting water by going for the war galley upgrade. But right now, he's not producing any navy units that you can see. There we go. Tower comes after BacT. He's defending himself properly around the gold, around the stone. He's gonna be fine. He's getting to the castle edge with still enough stone to go for a TC. I would love to see it come up over here for the gold miners. Yeah, around this area. Should be fantastic. You would have to delete the mining camp, but again, the TCF is going to be so much more valuable. Alternatively, he can go for the TC maybe on the right-hand side, perhaps, somewhere around here. Or here. To work. There is enough flat surface over here for him to go for a TC over there for sure. Yeah, but he's not going for it though. He's gonna try and go for the castle instead. Just a 1 TC. Full Conquistador play by the looks of it for BacT. Castle Age is here. Second TC on the way for Liereyy and BacT. You got the castle up in no time, 33% faster work, and builders, of course, are going to grant you that. So the first Conquistador is coming out, and there is a long way. Between now and BacT taking this game, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go his way. That needs to go right. For the bull player, still has enough stone to go for a second TC, but he decides to use the wood to go for a siege workshop instead. To complement the Conquistador push. Here comes BacT. Liereyy. Let's get some skirmishers. Elite skirmisher on the way. BacT. BacT never went for any navy units. In the end, it's only a matter of time until Liereyy eventually cleans the bull player up. He's not found him yet. But he's not going for any extra navy units either. So if he's not going to go for any extra units, Liereyy might as well just try to either attack, move, or patrol those units around so that he eventually does end up finding BacT. Yeah, because if he doesn't, then BacT does have the chance over here of going for his own navy and being the one-point person. Now, that was not the best unit control for the bull player. Ends up losing 2 out of 3 Conquistadors already, and my lord. Yeah, BacT just goes on to call the GG over here. That's not good. That is... That is not good for BacT. Liereyy is just dominating the series over here. And game number 2 was very short. So for the achievements, we see a 1-to-1 KD ratio, but that favors Liereyy, who was the only player going for any extra economy. He was the only player going for any extra TC. So you can see the worker count was better for Liereyy. Overall economy was better for Liereyy as well, and it's just so rough. So there we go, guys. Final game of the second series of the day. BacT playing with the Malians, or the Mayans rather. Liereyy playing with the Britons. The bull player on the right hand side is going to have with this civilization 1 extra villager upon starting the game. In addition to that, he does get 15% longer lasting resources. As well as 10, 20, 30% cheaper archer units in the Field Castle and Imperial Ages. And for the team bonus, we're gonna have Mayans get cheaper walls compared to other civilizations, so the wall discount is going to come in quite clutch. The extra villager they begin with does come at the expense of 50 food, but they will still have enough to go for villagers. It's not going to be like the Chinese, right? We do not get enough food at the beginning of the game to get extra villagers out. But yeah, it's not going to be the best, of course. Regardless, we'll see that Liereyy is playing with Britons on the left-hand side in the red color, which means he's going to get 1 and 2 extra range on foot archer units in the castle and Imperial Ages. In addition, there we are,
Mandatum.
to 50% wood discount on TCs starting in the castle age. The Britons will also have for civilization bonus 25% faster working shepherds, so the sheep get depleted a little bit sooner, he gets the food in a little bit quicker. And for the team bonus finally, there is also going to have 20% faster working archer ranges, so archers do come out sooner compared to Mayans, but they do come out at full price compared to the Mayans who get them for a discount. So if you are able to sustain archer production, it's going to be easier to mass them up with the Britons than it's going to be with the Mayans, just because of them being produced faster. Well, game number 3 is probably not going to result in too many predictions in favor of BacT, I would imagine, because of the results of games number 1 and 2. So let's go and take a look at the map generations instead. Oh, Liereyy's getting away with the sheep heist over here, though. That is so rough for BacT. Extremely rough for the bull player. Yeah, and it seems like he's not going to realize about it, unfortunately. So yeah, let's take a look at the bull player's map generation. He does have the main goal on the back, which is beautiful. He's got the main stone towards the south. Secondary stone is going to be on the back, so that's fantastic too. And then the third, or the secondary and the third goals will be up in the north, and then on the left-hand side towards the west. Should be able to wall himself pretty easily like this, going from here to here. It seems to me like he's gonna try to connect the walls like this and just go for full walls. But it doesn't really matter what he goes for in front over here. If he goes for the walls around the berries or towards the TC, he'll only ever be able to secure 1 gold and 1 stone. And the walls are going to be extremely pricey. These ones over here, they are not that good. Taking a look at the left-hand side, Liereyy, on the other hand, is going to have the main goal forward. Secondary goal is going to be up in the north. The other secondary goal is going to be on the left-hand side, and then we have the main stone down the south and the secondary stone on the right-hand side. This gold he should be able to secure because it's kind of backish. But it's not too close to the TC, right? So if you wanted to secure that one and go for walls, you would have to go for something like this. That doesn't seem too expensive, but then when you add the walls from the north over here as well, that does certainly add up. And unlike the Mayans, the Britons do have to pay full price for the wall, so it's going to be kind of rough. No matter what he does, he's not really going to be able to secure any of the wall lines either, by the looks of it. And wait a moment, though. What is that I see over here from Mr. BacT? Check this out. Militia's coming in right away. And yes, sir. He's pushing. Oh, the sheep. Well, Liereyy had stolen some of the herdables, so this is still going to result in him having extra food compared to BacT. And with the Britons is fantastic, of course. He still has 3 sheep left over here.
Yay.
Village is here already. For Liereyy. BacT taking significantly longer to go up to the village. Mind you, he's going up on 26 population. This will not be enough for him. Fast castle at all. So it's going to be just a Drush flush. And Liereyy, on the other hand, he's trying to defend himself against the Drush portion of it. Gets one of the militias down. It's actually going to end up getting another militia down, I think. The scout is a little bit too low HP, but he might be able to get the units down. He's going up to the scout, and he ends up losing his own scout. Now the best unit control over there for Liereyy, to be sure, but BacT is not in a particularly good spot himself. Either. He like, what is he going to do with the militia and the Eagle Scout? At the very least, the Eagle would allow him to roam around and get some scouting information, right? That'll be about it. Yep. The militia's going to meet his destiny by a wolf. And Liereyy's push is coming up over here. Well, BacT was... I was expecting him to go for this, to go for the Drush flash he's got. Now the skirmisher's on the way. But yeah, it's certainly kind of rough right now. Liereyy's pulling behind. He's gotten 30 seconds of idle TC. Oh, but it's open! And he's coming in. This is the opportunity that Liereyy needed to catch back up in the game. Up until this point, not only has BacT been able to hold on to his extra villager, but also because of the idle TC time Liereyy's gotten. The villager delta over here is going to be a 3 in favor of BacT, which is remarkable at this stage of the game. You know, BacT is getting some idle TC time himself. Yeah, beautiful. Now BacT is trying to collect the last deer. Still holds on to a 2 villager lead, even if he ends up getting a little bit of extra idle TC time. And this should be close, right? So damn hard to tell. What are these walls? Here we are. Now just on the way for BacT as well. Both these players are on a pretty even footing over here. BacT still with the villager lead for sure. Even if he ends up getting a little bit of extra LTC time compared to Liereyy, he does find himself 1 to 1.5 villages ahead. Here we go. Legends here now for BacT as well. He didn't have it up until this point, but he hasn't really been engaging against Liereyy's units too much either. While Liereyy, on the other hand, he's been on fletching for a while, but he's been the one putting pressure while BacT's been defending himself. And he's gonna try to start putting some pressure now. Liereyy's getting a lot of extra TC time. He's saving the resources to go up to the castle edge. This will allow BacT to get further ahead right now. 3 extra villagers for the bull player. And that's going to be 4 extra villagers for the bull player very soon. And Liereyy does not click up. He's got the resources though, but he was missing a little bit of gold and now he's on his way up. Liereyy It's gonna be the first player to click out to the castle age, but BacT is dangerously close to clicking up himself, and he'd be going up on 4 extra villagers. He is also idle in his TC. Notice he probably realized about the score drop for Liereyy, and now the castle age is on the way indeed for Mr. BacT. Left hand side. He's gonna keep on putting pressure though. He's got fletching right now, so he should be in a position to get some damage down, or at the very least to push the villagers away from wood, because once again, Lierey's map generation does not really allow for him to save, or rather keep the wood lines safe, secure any of the wood lines. In the end, BacT ended up going for a little bit greedier walls than I was expecting, but this is good because he does secure the palm trees over here compared to Liereyy. Oh, there is a back wall line over here for Liereyy, mind you. Does he know about it? Oh, he does know about it. Okay, okay. So I guess it's not going to be the end of it. BacT ends up pushing the villagers away from here. Beautiful. 1 archer. He's just spinning 1 archer of his army out to the north so that he would be able to deny both these woodlines at the same time. And Lierey's not having any of it though, with some good unit control. He moves the villagers over to the left trees. He's got the crossman upgrade coming out. Bakinaro, Lierey's the first player to get to the castle age, still behind by about 4 workers. By the time BacT gets to the castle age, it's going to be only a 3 villager delta. Extra barracks are out for BacT. He's gonna start going for... He's gonna continue going for Eagle Warriors. Rather, Eagle Scouts right now, of course. Eventually Eagle Warriors. And Lierey's got some knights on the way. He did go for 1 stable behind the walls, so that at the very least BacT won't realize about it. And the Eagle Warrior upgrade is coming out for BacT. He's got chain mail armor on the way as well.
Shot it. Shot it.
Here we are. Yeah, the second TC is on the way now for Liereyy. Meanwhile, BacT. He's going all in, guys. 1 TC, full Eagle production. Probably his eco balancing right now is not the best for this. And I don't know about this engagement, man. That is a lot of knights over here. Even if it seems like it's just 4, because it is just 4. It's going to be still enough to clean out these Eagle Warriors. And while the crosses do end up getting cleaned up for the most part, the Eagles over here do end up getting cleaned up as well. And I am not really positive that was a good engagement for BacT. He ended up losing a lot of units. You can see the trail of death for the bull player. Losing unit after unit after unit. And Liereyy ended up losing a bunch of crosses, but it feels to me like it was not a particularly cost-effective trade for BacT. If he starts adding some monks, and he does have one already up, or some pikemen, and he does have a spearman, but no pikeman upgrade, no time to go for pikeman if he's going for full eagle, right? But yeah, if he adds like a 4th barracks and he starts going for some pikemen, that could be good against the knights, but monks are even better because the pikemen are still susceptible to the archers, while the monks, they have their own range. So if you can get the conversions going, then that's a knight that's going to turn around and start fighting the archers off. And it's so much better for BacT, so that was a cost-effective trade. And now he should be able to take a better engagement right now. The military count for Liereyy is not anywhere good enough anymore. As he added the 3rd TC. He's prioritizing full defenses over here. Full economy versus the military production. Here we are. Mangonel on the way. Or BacT. There we go. Yeah, and back this pressure starting to build up. Liereyy doesn't seem to have anything coming out that's going to alleviate the pressure from BacT. He's got crossbows, which we know it's not going to work against eagles. He's got two measly knights. We know it's not going to work against the amount of eagles that BacT's got to work with right now. And then in addition to that, of course, he's just going to have the TCs for the most part to carry some villages in, but once again against the eagles, and especially now against the Magnus, it's not going to be good. And that was a good reaction from Liereyy. The Magnus there still. The Magnus are there still. There's a defensive castle coming out for Liereyy, and that is what he was hoping for. He's been collecting stone. The castle coming in for Liereyy will allow him to put a stop to BacT's push from this angle, but BacT, he's just going around and he knows exactly how this goes. He won't be able to keep on putting pressure from that side anymore, but there is nothing stopping him from coming in from this side. And while Lierey's gonna start making the transition into lone swords, going for supplies right now, it does not seem to me like he'll be in a position to defend himself fast enough, especially if BacT recognizes the potential for lone swords and decides to go for either archers himself or add maybe a few scorpions into the mix, and the scorpions will actually be fantastic. Yeah, lone swordsman upgrades on the way now. We have some monks over here from BacT as well, which will certainly aid against the lone swords, potentially. And more eagles coming in. BacT is kind of bottlenecking himself a little bit, mind you. The lone swordsman upgrade's coming out right now. Sorry, earlier was Minotaurs. But yeah, he's kind of bottlenecking himself a little bit. He's got 14 eagles queued up from 3 barracks. Man, go for more barracks. He's got another one on the way now. But it's not going to alleviate it. He needs, ideally, like 2 more barracks, I would say. And ideally, he wants to keep the Magnus over here as well so that he can take the TC down. So here comes BacT. He's got the eagles coming out. Meanwhile, he's going to start making production. He's going to start producing the lone swords, but it's going to take such a long time. The eagles are already here, and check this out. BacT is starting to spread the eagles around, and that's gonna be a lot of damage. As Liereyy tries to react to this garrison in villages, he will still end up incurring a lot of losses. And you know what, BacT? BacT's gotta make use of the Magnus. What happened to the Magnus? He had 2. Got just the one over here, maybe paying too much attention to the eagle push over here and didn't really manage to get too much damage done. With the Magnus in the end, he's got just the one left. Yeah, this is exactly, I think this is what might have happened to BacT's first Magnus. That is not good. He walks away with this one on only 1 HP. And obviously a single crossbow is going to take this one down, so BacT's got to be careful. And he's got to keep on going for more as well. If he's going to fight Liereyy off, he will need the siege. Magnus will be good against crossbows, but he doesn't need that anymore because he's got the eagles already. He needs scorpions. Magnus he only needs against the TCs, but ideally he wants to get like 2, maybe 3 at most, and then that should be about it. Anyway. Beautiful.
Ready.
Yeah, it's once again BacT's push always has some great potential, but he never manages to materialize too much damage. He did get a bunch of villagers down from Liereyy, so maybe that is not a fair thing to say. He does have 28 villager kills so far, right, against Liereyy. But he's not gotten a hidden villager count still. Although, to be fair, with the Mayans being as cost-effective as they are as a civilization, maybe he doesn't need to. I think probably he is still in a better position. Just by catching up in work count, that is still pretty good, right? Let's take a look at the gather economy time. Yeah, it's higher for BacT by a lot. By quite a lot. A lot of eagles once again for BacT. A lot of long swords for Liereyy and good Magna shots. The blast rate is not going to be enough for the Manos to really get too many of these down, but he can weaken them. And by doing so, the lone swords are no match for the eagles anymore, especially because the numbers over here. So now Liereyy gets cleaned up. All the lone swords have gone down. All the crosses are going down over here. Lierey's gonna go down to only 5 military units. Meanwhile, BacT on 45. If he can keep on production going, and he will, as he's got 4 barracks producing eagles full time. This should allow him to resume pressuring Liereyy, and ideally let's check. There we go. Yeah, and ideally, finally, seal the deal, right? There is getting idle right now by a lot. 2 castles came up down the south, though. This is a little bit of a castle battle over here that took place earlier. Good reaction as well. This is when we were taking a look at the engagement with the lone swords over there. So at the same time, we saw the castle battle come up over here as well between BacT and Liereyy as they were engaging with the lone swords over there. Yeah, and let's catch right up once again. So we're BacT was starting to put the pressure up already. And that is he's going down. Beautiful. Liereyy might be on 2 castles right now versus only 1 from BacT, but until he's able to go up to the Imperial Age, he won't really be able to take advantage of that. BacT, on the other hand, seems to be significantly closer to having enough resources to go up to the Imperial Age himself compared to Liereyy. So he should be in a better position because of it. If he's able to beat Liereyy to the Imperial Age by a significant margin, even if he's got just 1 castle, mostly because he's got the hill advantage over here, should be in a position to take the castles down with trebuchets. However, Liereyy has started going for petards, and while BacT seems like he was going for petards himself too, and was able to chunk more HP off Lierey's castle than the other way around, he stopped going for it. He could have taken Lierey's castle down already, but not anymore. Lierey's the only player going for petards still. Yeah. And this castle's going down from BacT. Meanwhile, there's another big engagement taking place right now at the center over here on the back of Lierey's economy. And once again, the Lone Source door getting demolished by the Eagle Warriors just because of numbers. Obviously, this has gone in favor of the Lone Source in terms of cost effectiveness, but these Eagles, because of the numbers, have still been able to come out on top. However, that is definitely not an engagement that BacT wants to sustain over here. Yeah, and in the end, hey, there we go. We see the petards coming out right now from BacT, so he's gonna try and take the castle down from Liereyy, and he's not gonna be able to. The castle goes down over here for BacT, and Lierey's castle is going to remain up for the time being. Full player does not seem to be collecting any extra stone anymore, and when Lierey's been able to stabilize and has production and Lone Source still going, BacT sticking to Eagle Warriors does not seem to be very wise, especially because he is still, at this point, bottlenecked. I think he's still producing from only 4 barracks, right? That is not good. He was queuing, like he had the resource to queue dozens of Eagle Warriors, and he was queuing from only 4 barracks. Meanwhile, Liereyy, on the other hand, Lierey's in a much better spot. He's producing even from 3 barracks. The Lone Source will still be enough to push the Eagle Warriors away, and I can't believe the BacT has been still just trying to make this power move work without going for like the actual power. Where's the production potential? He had a lot of units queued up. He had the ability to overwhelm Lierey's defenses, despite the fact that the red player had the perfect counter to BacT's pushing unit. But he was bottlenecked for such a long time, and it seems kind of rough from BacT. It's not good. Now we finally see some crossbows coming out for the bull players, something I've been thinking of for, well, basically since we saw Liereyy make the transition to Lone Source, right? But something that BacT has failed to materialize up until this point. But now with crossbows, this finally might be enough for BacT to seal the deal. It's not just the crossbows addition to his army, but it's also the fact that he's been able to scrap enough resources to click out to the Imperial Age. Yeah, this could be exactly what BacT needed. Hey folks, I'm just here to wish you all a great stream as I'm off to bed. Take care all, and remember to flash. Thank you, Alchemistry, and sleep well. Hopefully you get some rest. It's very much appreciated. It's very kind of you to stop around, even if just to wish a good stream. And it's very much appreciated. Liereyy goes on to call the GG, as this is he gets pretty much denied. He incurs in a lot of losses once again in BacT. Well, BacT is finally getting a point over here in the series for himself. So it's going to be 2-1, still favoring Liereyy. But BacT does manage to get game number 3. And we'll be jumping into the 3rd series of the day in probably about 10 minutes, I would think. Let me take a look at what the schedule says the next series is going to be. The next one is going to be Vileza versus Barros. All right. BKV for BacT, about 65 right now. Economy, stronger economy for BacT as well, collecting about 6,000 extra resources with about 40 extra villager max count compared to Liereyy. That's gonna summarize it.